another time. But I wanted to talk about a little bit about my experiences with Rashid and and what I think about him. For the most part, I'm having a lot of fun with him. I haven't stopped playing him since he came out, um, and I am playing him in modern controls. I know a lot of people, don't like that or whatever. Um, but what I will say is, you know, most of you people that are too good or think too good for modern controls, or you think that modern controls are lame or that it's dishonorable to play modern controls, you guys need to realize that there's people that are winning tournaments with modern control. And it not necessarily means that it's better. It's just some people just are doing good things with that. They're able to play better with that. And in the beginning, I used to think modern controls was just for people that didn't know how to play, or people that were just starting, which is the way they're kind of promoting it in the game. But at the same time, once they announced in one of the, I forgot when they announced it, but they announced that it was going to be Evo legal or legal for tournaments. Once they announced that, I knew that it was a lot more serious than just, this kind of like beginner's mode. Um, and then, it was confirmed by, a lot of Japanese players playing Modern Control and winning championships with them, winning tournaments, not championships. um, and so I was already playing it before that. Um, I was trying to play with Jamie, and at first Jamie wasn't that good, and he still struggles with a lot of areas. But right now I'm playing with Rashid. Rashid, his problems aren't modern or um, classic. He's just a little stubby. He doesn't have very good reach advantage. Even though he's 5'10", I think, or something like that, which is a little bit taller than Ryu. He seems like a lanky character, but he doesn't like the frames just ain't there for him. But I still like him because he's fun. And in Modern Control, I'm able to play with him a lot better. Um, but I've been trying Modern Control for lots of reasons. One of them is because I just I'm a little bit of a contrarian, I guess you could say. There's a lot of people that it really um, angers them when you play Modern Control. Um, and it's like a judgmental thing that mostly American or Western players have. I'm not sure if it's a problem in like for British players or European players. I'm just saying, here in the U.S., we tend to make up rules of what's right and what's wrong, that have nothing to do with how to play the game at all. So they're kind of like they're just unspoken rules that everybody follows, in different sports and in different things that have nothing to do with anything other than somebody decided that this was right and this was wrong. That's pretty much it. Um, and or even popular beliefs. Don't have to be like actual rules. Like, and I want to take it back a little bit to Third Strike, where Third Strike was not as popular for a while. And it started to gain a little popularity, but in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, um, when it started to become more popular was when um, Daigo, you know, parried a super from I think Justin Wong. Yeah, Justin Wong was playing Chun Li. I think it's called Evil Moment. I forgot what it was, but the thing is, you know, that made it popular again. So Japanese players, and it wasn't just him. It was before him, or I think after him. A lot of players were using Japanese players were using Yoon, I believe, or Yang, one of those two. And they were successfully using his dive kick and doing a lot of tech with that. A bunch of new tech that American players weren't privy to because um, they just didn't know about it, and they just didn't think the game was good enough or whatever because of their beliefs. And the same thing I think is happening right now with modern controls. I think a lot of American players are missing out um, on modern controls, and they're going to be surprised um, in this tournament and in a lot of tournaments. Hopefully less than before, because now it's not that we can't see them use modern controls or we can't see the new tech. It's not that. Now it's just we're preventing ourselves from from being better, um, simply because we think that it's dishonorable or something like that. Which is from what I hear on online or on Twitter or even on YouTube. If you use modern controls, your mom is a hoe or something like that. So, I mean, just judging by that, there's no other reason for it other than they think that it's easier, which it's easier to do supers, but that's about it. The other stuff you're gonna have to lab it and figure out, your routes. I mean, not roots. Figure out your routes and figure out, what's your mid range, what's your long range. Um, and Rashid has a lot of problems, anyways. Rashid, you still have to be smart with Rashid because, um, he's one of those. He's one of those players. Let me put the volume down. I hope you guys can still hear me. But Rashid is one of those players that I mean, it's one of those characters that he reminds me a little of what's his face, of Charlie or Nash. Yeah, Charlie Nash. Because there's this weird range going on with him, and of course he got updated in Street Fighter Five, and he got a little better towards the end. But there's this weird range with him. Um, and I haven't seen this video, but I don't know why it's going so slow, guys. I hope it's not my fault that this is happening. But anyways, I'm just gonna be talking about it, but I'm not really listening to this video. I'm gonna watch it later because I feel like it's gonna be interesting because I think it's talking about what I'm talking about, which is modern versus a classic and Rashid. It's crazy that I promise I just turned on. I started recording, and then I was looking. I think you saw it at the beginning of the video. I was just looking for videos to to put on while I talk. And I found like literally what I wanted to talk about, which is Rashid and modern versus classic. I haven't played classic Rashid. The main reason I'm playing modern is one, I suck, and two, um, it's just I think it's a little funner, and not only that, but I just like it. I just every time I hear a popular belief, which is modern controls is for lame people or whatever, I try to check it out. Why? Because I don't like to just do what the popular belief is. I just like to try it out. Um, and a lot of times I like to do the opposite of what people believe to be um, the thing to do or whatever. Um, but so far, Rashid, he's a little stubby. I'm pretty sure he's the same way in Classic. But the way to play him or the way I play him is by doing a move first and then doing something else. So one of the ones I do is I jump back, and then I do a projectile, or I jump back and then I jump forward because sometimes they try to rush me. So I jump back, and if they think I'm gonna do a projectile, I jump forward twice and I jump in the air. I do that weird jump thing that he does in the air. So either way, you're free of the initial attacks, because a lot of things that they like to do is they try to rush you, or they try to do a quick projectile. If you move back, um, and he's like a jump in character. You got to think of him as like a jump in character. Like, he moves back and he can immediately jump into range to attack you again. Like, even his moves, like he's right there, and if he doesn't move, it's like from a distance and he jumps in. So if you could manage to time those jump ins and outs, in mid range, or I think they call it neutral, um, you could damage your opponent a lot, especially with your heavy attacks. Um, and you just got to calculate those. Just pretend that kind of get the feel of the guy, and from right there, from that distance, from like mid range, he has a lot of moves. Now, of course, a lot of those moves can be stopped by a lot of other characters' regular moves, like sometimes even jabs if they time it right. So what you have to do is constantly keep your opponent guessing, meaning you're gonna jump back and then you gotta make him guess. Are you gonna do this, that, or the other? And then, but at the same time, you gotta guess right too. Um, so he is a complicated character. Is he hard to use? If you wanna do all the crazy stuff that you see online, yes. Um, yeah, he's hard to use to do all of that stuff, because you can't, with Rashid, you can't be, um you got to keep moving. Basically, you got to keep going and going and going and going. So if you drop your opponent, you already have to be, building wind for your other move, and you can't really stop and smell the flowers with Rashid. Um, but that's it for today, guys. That's all I want to talk about Rashid and Modern Control. I think you guys should give Modern Control a chance. Give it a shot, and don't get left behind by because you thought it was the devil or something. Modern controls are the devil. uh,